Y'all, what is up? Are we watching Married at First Sight season 20? That's what I'm trying to figure out. That's what I'm fitting to know. If you're not, I am. And I am going to talk about Married at First Sight. Now, listen. Last season, I tried to start up my channel and try to do season 19, the last season that we saw our precious Dr. Cal and Dr. Pepper, Dr. Pia, and now they are no more. Okay, he came on in the spring and said he was changing up the guards. Listen, he was being very, very nice about it. Chris Colleen and bought out to Peacock or whatever. They not left Lifetime and they want to do things their way. So whatever. New format, new experts. We've only seen 2. I guess there's going to be 2. They got a sex doctor, relationship doctor. I don't know her name. And then they got Paul Brunson, who looked like he Pastor Cal's nephew. Okay. And so I'm really excited about what the season is giving. All right.
It's my
hey
time
guys.
to shine, break free, be me, take this journey, come along with me. Stories to tell, opinions to give, growing in the light while I learn to live. Pull up a seat. Angela Monique.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl, it's she, it's me, it's your girl, Angela Monique. Theme song to come soon as I figure out how to edit that and make it nice in. But yeah, welcome to my channel, y'all. So hit all the things. Listen, we're gonna get into Married at First Sight season 20, and I really just want to talk about it. Listen, I'm going to talk about the way I want to talk about it. Listen, these are my opinions. I am not doing deep dives. I'm not overanalyzing these people. I'm not psychoanalyzing these people. These are not deep think pieces, right? Let me tell you something. If you're going on Married at First Sight, right? Because I'm going to have my own opinions, and I know there's silos and of the internet that have all these greater thoughts and deep dives and don't talk about this. Listen, these people are who they are. They are flawed people. They're going through a Married at First Sight, and you cannot be in your right mind if you think going on TV to marry a stranger and thinking you're going to get a success, is the right path to go down. Okay, let me tell you, we got some smart people this season coming on this cast, but how smart are you really if you think you're going to go on TV and marry a stranger and think it's going to work out for you? I'm of the belief that people think they can put their wish list into a microwave and get what they're going to get. But a lot of times when you see them microwave meals on the package and you open it up, that's the first sign of disappointment. That meal ain't looking like that. And then when you mic it up, it ain't tasting like nothing. And if you would have made the same meal and got the ingredients, got the onions, got the the heavy cream, got the noodles, got the sauce, made it by scratch, made it from scratch. Excuse my rambling, but what I'm saying, it'd have been great. But when you put in that Stouffer's, that lean cuisine, it ain't gonna taste like nothing. If you'd have made that thing out and out, it'd taste good. And this is Married at First Sight. Okay, so this season we got a cast of characters. Now, when we first started getting into Married at First Sight, it's like, who are these people? Why are they here? What's their story? Who are they gonna get matched with? Now, back in the day when Married at First Sight was kicking off, when it was on Lifetime, they did the matchmaking special, right, to help us get to know the people. But now we on Peacock, where it's and you missed the whole season and getting to know these people. So it's like getting to know you, getting to know all about you. All right. So episodes 1 through 3, that's what I'm talking about today. And it's kind of like, who are these people and why are y'all on my screen? Okay. So like I said, I'm going to talk about them how I'm going to talk about them. They're my opinions. This show ain't that deep. It ain't that serious. If you're looking for a broader thought piece and you want to play by play, this may not be it, but stick around because I'm going to talk about it how I want to talk about it. And we're going to talk about whatever, and if it sticks out to me, great. If I skip scenes, parts, people, it's because they weren't interesting. But this is the getting to know you. So let's get into getting the know and getting into the know of the people. Okay. They open up, they showing the guys and they showing the girls to kind of get us excited and stuff like that. So I'm talking about the experts. We got the lady, I don't know her name. But I looked at his name, Paul Brunson, right? Who replaced our dear beloved Pastor Cal, whom I miss, okay? But we got his nephew, okay? So Pastor Cal's nephew is here, and I'm kind of liking him. I saw some of the previews. It looks like it's going to be some of the format of Married at First Sight UK and Married at First Sight Australia, which I never and don't watch, but understand that this is a different format from the US version. So womp de womp, it's going to be different. So that's when it's going to, it's going in my head, especially with these group sessions, because I'm ready to get into the mess because we're ready to get into the mess. And like I said, back in the day, Lifetime used to do the matchmaking special, right? And they used to say this is who's going to be with who. You think they're going to make it? So let me go ahead and cut that episode. And if we were in the olden times, what that would look like. None of these people are going to make it. All right. Now, I might preface a maybe, but I don't think none of these people are going to make it. Top of the line. Okay. So first people that I have on my list of who are these people, we got Adam and Marissa. And Adam seems rigid. Adam seems weird. He's a tall blonde guy with a weird mustache. Don't like it. He thinks it's cute, but it's not. He's really weird. He's really rigid. He says he lives on the lake. He jet skis to Whole Foods. He jet skis to the gym. He jet skis to his mama house. He be jet skiing all around the water. He says he's a business analyst and he's making all this type of money. And I'm like, how much do they make? Now in my line of work, I kind of know what business analysts work, what they make, on the internship side, right? And I don't think I'm so financially set. Did you make some investments or stuff or anything like that? Like business analyst, okay, that's a decent salary and you can climb the ladder. Won't do won't, right? I'm not saying he's a brokey, but the way he's talking like he's making like $500,000 a year in, he said, did you make investments or something? But I mean, a business analyst is a good job. It is a good income. Yes. But bruh. Okay. So he says he's all that. He gets with a girl named Marissa. Adam really does think a lot about himself, right? Like he's like, I'm all about my health. I need my girl to be healthy. I need her when we get married. She gonna be on the jet skis. I got a program set up. He's talking about all this nonsense of his wish list of who he want to have and stuff like that. And the thing that I don't like in these types of shows, everybody want to get married to themselves. You're not marrying yourself. You're marrying another person. You're not marrying a carbon copy of yourself. Like, if you're thinking that, it's great to have things in common. It's good to do things that you guys can do together that you both enjoy, but you are not marrying yourself. They might like it just as much, not as much, or more than you, or not at all. And then if they don't, you don't like them because they don't like to do what you do. Okay. He's a little cocky, not feeling him. One of the scenes that stuck out to me, Paul, he was down to the house, screening him for the episode and, for the matchup. And, he asked, old boy here, Adam, when's the last time you had somebody come over to your house? When has somebody crossed the threshold, right? And he was trying to be aloof to that. His friends were kiki and cacaing over that and thinking it's a game. And then he was like, last week, she was on that porch. She was at your house, probably yesterday, right? Come to find out, she done been there 5 times. Y'all are dating and y'all are moving into a relationship. Meanwhile, you're applying to Married at First Sight. And then Paul said, let me talk to you in private. He checked him quick. Listen, you about to get married. You need to call this girl and tell her that you're about to be off the market and you're getting married at first sight. Red flag. Like what? So he calls the girl. She's surprised because she came over last week to the shoreline of the beach house on the lake, but she didn't come over in, but he done cook for her at the house and did all these intimate things. Y'all in a relationship. And then you get married at first sight. Okay, you're weird, right? So she's all like, oh my God. So that was something that was, that stood out to me. I can't remember, if he said he wanted pets and animals and dogs and things. And I can't remember that, but I know that on a lot of these contestants, they want somebody to like a dog, a cat that they have, and they like their cat and their dog more than a person. I think that is really weird. I can't remember if that was his case or not, but I know I wrote it down for some odd reason in my notes. But y'all animal lovers, I love an animal too. I had a dog. Well, it wasn't really my dog. It was my sister's dog and whatever, but he wasn't my dog. But I didn't love that dog more than I loved my parents. I didn't love that dog more than I loved my cousins. I didn't love that dog. Like, if the dog is now dead, May Sydney, rest in peace. However, I don't, y'all, what if you get a kid? What if you have a kid, right? And they can't be around cats and dogs? Are y'all going to throw the baby out in the bathwater for your cat and for Sparky? I don't know. But anyway, Marissa, I wrote, she seems soft. But I question, will it work with Adam's tough exterior and rigid thought process? Adam has great outdoors training, he wants to have her training because he on the lake and they're going to jet ski down to Whole Foods, and he's weird. I don't have much on her, I don't find her that interesting. They exchanged gifts, whatever, at the wedding. His was corny. It was all about him, nothing about her, nothing about, and nothing about what their life would be together. Just like, this is what I like. Get ready for it. She gives him some whiskey shots or whatever. That's her little clue gift. And of course, this weirdo doesn't drink because he feels like the toxins in his body. He wants to retire when he's 50 years old, and he can't have that. And he doesn't like processed foods. I mean, yeah, I get it. Processed foods aren't always the best, but child, it ain't that deep. If you don't want processed Easy Mac, don't eat it. However, Marissa, giving your a stranger spouse, a shot, I don't really think that was the best gift. You could have, given them something a little bit more sentimental from your heart. It does read party girl vibes, and you don't know who's on the other side, right? I mean, yeah, you gave me your wish list, but this is married at first sight. And I just don't feel like giving somebody a shot of whiskey as your wedding gift and a clue to who you are and all that is classy and very womanly or womanlike or ladylike. It's not very ladylike, in my opinion. Okay. Another thing about Weirdo Adam, they get to the wedding. He about to walk down the aisle, and he got his friend's girlfriend walking him down the aisle. So you have a friend girl walking down the aisle because none of your people, none of your family was making it. Your grandma not there, your mama not there, your sister ain't there, your dog ain't there. No, everybody's in Iceland, and they hiking, they skydiving, they're doing all these things in Iceland, and they couldn't come to Married at First Sight. Did you tell them you were applying to Married at First Sight? Like, he's weird. You're not having nobody from your family, not your cousin, not a friend from school, nobody. Child. Like, it's not a match for me. Like, they're not gonna make it. Whatever the experts think that was a reason, these reasons are shallow. Okay, but that adds into the drama and the mess. Okay, so they get down the aisle. So friend girl walks, Weirdo Adam down the aisle, Marissa at the other end. And I do like this new format. When the bride starts coming down the aisle, the groom turns around, she walks down, she sees the back of his head, he don't see nobody, your bride has arrived, they turn around and they see each other, and these two folks done realize they know each other. They met 2 years ago, they exchanged numbers, never talked, he ghosted, he's a weirdo, so he probably goes to her, she probably wanted to get down or whatever and talk, but they never did, and for whatever reason, 2 years later, y'all are getting married at first sight. Okay. Another interesting thing is that Adam plays the piano. Okay, now he got some talent, but he's still weird. And I'm a musician. Y'all heard me sing a little bit. I come from a family of musicians. Everybody plays something. I know people that play. I know music, okay? And I know what an arrogant person, and then mixed in with their talents, and he already thinks he's a great business analyst that jet skis to Whole Foods in town to Orange Theory and stuff like that. And now he can play Chopin and Mozart and Beethoven from memory. And he probably like, okay, and he wanted to play an A selection and a B selection. Now, I'm not opposed to that, right? I'm not opposed to that. Now, like I said, I come from a family of musicians. I remember watching a video back in the day when my uncle got married like three or 4 decades ago, and he played at his own wedding. We churchy, okay? So he was playing, he had a choir, he was directing, playing, and singing his own original music, but he was known for that. So it was befitting of who he is, and it was songs that people knew. He playing Beethoven and Chopin, and all of them people at the wedding, they was yawning. The bridesmaids of his new bride Marissa, they were laughing. They were like, can you play first song came into my head, Bit Better Have My Money. That's what they wanted you to hear play on the piano. Can you play the piano version of Rihanna's Bit Better Have My Money? Okay, that's what they wanted to hear, but they're not gonna make it. Moving on. We just here to get to know the people. We want to get to the mess of the honeymoon. Okay, then we got Tori and Felipe. Tori's 32, Felipe's 29. Felipe, no. Let me say, Felipe is a party guy. He really is thinking he's all that in a bag of chips. And to me, he is not attractive. Now, my standards of beauty are different. I don't find him to be attractive whatsoever. What's up now? I just talked about Adam, and he got a blonde, they call it I don't know what you call a stash. It's just you got the stash. That weirdo stash. We're going to call it weirdo stash because I think it's called something else, and I don't want to say that. But now Felipe got one. His is, brunette or dark, black hair, brown hair, dark hair. He got that thing. Boy said he used to be, ugly, and he did all of these beauty treatments and got his teeth straightened out. I really don't think it helped much. But he's not attractive to me. To me, he's not a good looking person, but in other standards of beauty, I guess he's good looking. After you've pumped yourself with Botox and fillers and Accutane, that's what they said. I don't even know what that is. And I love the beauty things. Like, I wear makeup when I want to. I'm into the things, but that's not it. That's not it. Okay. He's a partier, like Paul's, I guess he's getting casted. So the boy done been late to the Zoom, all the interviews. Why? Because he's partying at 4 a.m. He's a restaurateur. I guess he's him and his family own a restaurant. And he says that his schedule allows him to, after work, he going to the club. And he going to be out till 4 a.m. So, meanwhile, his bride-to-be, Tori, she be in bed by 10. How is this a match? Somebody tell me how this is a match. And these experts liking Felipe is absolutely weird to me. But I just think that the producer said, we gonna cast him. He been late. We here for the drama. This couple is not gonna make it. We're here for the drama. He's unstable. That's how you become a reality star. You have to be unstable. And he's gonna be casted. Okay. I don't have nothing interesting to say about them. She's a nice girl. Seems like she's level-headed, very pretty. She's pretty. Now, I think she's pretty, but I just have a problem with these. Now, she's 32, but still. I just have a problem with younger women. I'm, older than 32. I just have a problem with younger women getting Botox fillers and work done under the age of 40, and that's being generous. Like I feel like you, especially the 20-year-olds that do it, you actually look older than me, and my age starts with a 4. And you look older than me. So I feel like y'all are aging up yourselves. And so she's one of those ones I've done, but I think she still looks good. It's not my cup of tea. It's not my baseline standard of beauty. For what it is, she's very pretty, and they seem to like each other. They get married, they kiss. I don't really find her interesting so far. She thinks he's hot. He thinks she's hot. They're hot. And it's all is well. Okay. So that's all I wrote about them. They like each other, but I got my eye on him. He's unstable. He's unstable and she has it together. And I don't know how that's going to work. All right. So that is Felipe and Tori. And then we meet Bella Jolie. We're going to call her Belle because that's a lot of Bella Jolie every time. No. She's a singer. She's 28 and she is matched with Mecca, who's 28. And I like that he said he want to be serenaded, and she a singer. I said, okay, she can sing. She in the studio. They open her scene with her in the studio doing her thing. Ooh, 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 ooh. I'm doing my thing in the studio. Okay. Yeah, she doing her thing in the studio. And he's a sanitation worker. He makes good money. It is not a glamorous job by far, but when the jobs that folks don't want to do, like sanitation, because who wants to be smelling trash seeing trash on the street? He cleans porta potties, but somebody's got to do it. And if somebody's going to do it, you better pay me. Or these porta potties for these concerts, there must be big money in the porta potty business because it's good money. If you're into, and even at hospitals, if you're doing environmental engineer or something like that, they call it, you're cleaning stuff up, you get paid good. So kudos to them. Somebody got to do it. He's a good looking dude. I've seen some pictures of him. He does some modeling work. Apparently this is outside the episode, and he looks really handsome, but I didn't really find him. He's a good looking dude, but I didn't like his style. Okay, I'll say that. I feel like he's an handsome guy, but I didn't like his style. Can't get with the gold, whatever these things are in his teeth. I can't get with that. I can't get with the black fingernails that he had, with his suit and stuff at the wedding. I can't get with all of that. Okay. I don't think they're going to make it, but I think that there's hope. Because, when we get into the episode and stuff, I'm skipping all around because I'm just talking about the episode like I'm talking to you, like you right here at my house, okay? I think they're going to make it. I think they at least like each other. But at first glance, I feel that Mecca is very performative. He's like doing the most. Okay, he's doing the most. Like, hey, he's like, but that could be nerves. It's the wedding day, and stuff like that. We meet his father. I wish we didn't. His name is Logic. Now, Bella Jolie, that's a colorful name. Then we got Bella Jolie or Belle and Mecca. And then his daddy's name is Logic. And go figure, her mama's name is Violent. Or Violent. Like I'm violent. Not Violet. Violent. Because I had to read that 3 times. Okay? And so, I'm just going to go off my notes, here. His in the wedding suite, Logic, the daddy, is asking, you gonna, get a kiss at the altar? He gonna try for it, but he might get a cheek, and little does he know that's what Belle is, gonna do, give him the cheek, and he gives some corny nonsense. A cheek is for the weak, a tongue makes her sprung. Jesus. And I'm not surprised. This guy is a young old dude. He's 28. He might be 50, he might be about 50, maybe early 50s. And he's a young old dude. And what is a young old dude? It's a guy who is older, but he does, like, he's lined up. He wants to dress young. He doesn't dress his age. Not that it's inappropriate, but you're still trying to hang on to your youth. You're trying to hang on to your swagger and stuff like that. And it's a little bit off-putting. He's like a young old dude, an old young dude, however you want to put it. Like, his vibe is just like doing the most. And apparently, with Mecca's history, he was raised by his father. His mom left, and then his dad remarried or got married, and then she left too. So he got mama issues. In Belle's family, she was raised by a single mother. She did not have a relationship with her father, so they got these parenting issues, But those are things, not saying trauma bond, but things they have in common, right? Where they can help each other through different emotions. So I think that these couples are going to make it? No, but they have potential. I'll say that. Oh, and his sister named Isis. They got the names in this family are great. I like Belle's wedding dress. It was a pink dress. When I was getting married, I tried a pink dress, but it wasn't for me. But then she had all this jewelry. Wasn't feeling the jewelry. It was given 2003. The earrings were given 2003. I mean, she didn't need to do that dainty. Like, I had my little dainty earrings, so I'm not into that. But if you are, that's you. That's my opinion. Dainty, classy, simple elegance, and less is more. But she was pretty. She still was a beautiful bride. Just because I don't like her style doesn't mean it wasn't pretty. Okay? I wonder, because Mecca is very performative at this first glance as we're getting to know the people, I'm just wondering if it's a maturity thing or it's just nerves. So I'm really looking forward to, their journey throughout their whole section and, their scenes. Logic, the daddy, he gonna get his 5 minutes of fame. He is everywhere, saying all kinds of things, standing out. It's kind of like the equivalent of him wearing a white dress and thinking it's his wedding day. Like, he's just doing too much. So I wrote, get the dad off my screen. And then when, the parents, talk to their new in-law, and the daddy, Logic, gonna ask, question Belle about getting that cheek kiss at the altar, because they cheek kissed. He was trying to go for lips. She was like, no. Okay, so I mean, I think that was inappropriate. The dad is very inappropriate. So hopefully this is the last time we see Logic in these first few episodes. Again, I wrote my notes, old young person. But, even with that, I'm glad to see that Belle had some folks in her corner, and her people was like, use discernment, maybe they see what I see. He's just doing too much. The daddy doing too much. And I'm not sure what order these scenes were shot in, but they were just doing the most. So friend says use some discernment. And I think I like that a lot. Use discernment, because you don't know them. You're still getting to know them. Yes, you're married or whatever, but okay. And even, because I'm going to move off of Mecca and Belle, the dad was very inappropriate about what they going to do in that hotel room after the wedding, about, and I believe, please correct me if I'm wrong, he talked to his son about that and used the term clapping cheeks. Like, what? Like, the dad is so unserious. You're 55 years old and you're acting like you are 22 years old. Like, this is why his baby mama situation, his mother didn't work out, and the bride, his wife that, is no longer with him, it didn't work out. You're not serious. You're doing the most and too much. Okay? And that's them. I think they're going to be good. I want to see them post-wedding, honeymoon, and through the process. I'm interested. They might make it. Just on vibes alone right now. Vibes ain't going to, get your marriage, ain't going to save your marriage, ain't going to carry your marriage. But at first sight, I think they'll be all right. That rhymed. So then we got Nick, and we got Courtney. Nick has been on reality TV. I've watched The Circle. I've watched Perfect Match. Perfect Match is not one of my shows. I love dating shows, but some of those ones where they're running around kissing 10 different people is a turn off to me, because y'all are very unserious. I'm just watching it for something in the background while I scroll on my phone. Okay. I do watch and love The Circle, but I don't remember him from it. He's been on 5 or 6 reality shows. Don't remember him, and he's been on ones that I actually watched. Don't remember him, so he must have either not made it far. He wasn't that impactful, because you have to have a polarizing personality and be unstable, to really stand out in reality TV and these competition shows. You have to do that, or if you don't have it, you better make a persona up. Okay, but I don't remember him. He's 31. He's matched with Courtney. One thing she is worried about is she just fears her husband won't stay. I'm not sure why she is talking about that. I don't really have much on her, except the only thing that stood up. So he had the reality TV thing was his thing that stood out to me. She's a bodybuilder. Parents are bodybuilders. She jacked, the mama jacked, and all of that. Now, this is interesting. This has never been asked on screen on the seasons I've watched Married at First Sight. And Paul asked, about, I guess political beliefs because, she wanted them to celebrate Christmas and just surfacey stuff, but yet don't go to church every week. But she wanted to be Christian to celebrate and open gifts. You can do that any day of the week, but Christian enough, I guess, to open up Christmas gifts, but not Christian enough that we're going to church on a regular basis. Now, do what you will. I'm going to church. That's me personally. But y'all are weird. And then I guess that, trailed off into the question about, her political beliefs and things like that. And she says she's very conservative, and he's trying to gauge, Paul was trying to gauge her conservative. And he was like, she goes, what do you mean? Let me give you a gauge. He said January 6th. She says, what happened? You were there. You were there, honey. You was up there you was up in the crowd. All right. You was down to the 250 celebration. Okay. Like you was there. Okay. You might not have run up to Capitol steps, but you was surely out there passing out waters. Okay. Okay. And so that's what stood out to me. He was worried about him being on so many different reality TV shows. She said she was cool with it, but then she wasn't cool with it. See, there it goes again. You can like Christmas, but you can't go to church every week or every month or just on Christmas, Mother's Day, and Easter. That's it. But Nick is weird. All his guests were reality show people. And they was like, oh, I was on this show with him. I was on his first show, his third show. I was on this show with. We don't even know you, Nick. Please. But not very interested in them. We'll see what it gives. But she has some insecurities. But we'll unravel things that I see along the way and go from there. But I ain't got nothing to say. Yeah. She was up there passing my waters. She was there anyway. And then we got Michelle, 34, and then Cameron, who's 37. One of the things that she talked about in this couple, that at 26, she found out she had fibroids, and she was very proactive and froze her eggs. She wants to start a family. Cameron is 37. He is a community college basketball coach, and he's never been in a long-term relationship. Okay. And we're going to talk about that. I really don't have much to say about them. They were kind of like, okay, you're here. He's tall. She, her family is from Vietnam, and, I guess, in their package, they talked about, wanting, I guess their mom or the grandmother married a taller man, and I was like, oh, yeah, we got somebody tall, he ain't short. And so she gets somebody who's like 6'5", and she's probably like 5'5". Okay. I don't really have much to say. They seem pleased, at first. Not much to say. But one of the things that stood out to me on them, he reveals that he has never been in a long-term relationship over 6 months. And then they start playing the spooky music over that because, that's a problem for folk. I'm not so sure. This is my opinion. I know he's 37. And everybody wants, the groupthink will say, oh, you've never been in a long-term relationship. Now, on his end, he said he didn't find anybody that he found worthwhile, or maybe I think he might have said he's picky and things like that. But the groupthinks will say that's a red flag. I don't feel that way. I'm going to have an unpopular opinion. I don't feel that not having a lot of long-term or having any long-term relationships is a red flag. Like, this is how I think of it. This is me. This is my opinion. You can comment. I welcome it. But when I was a little girl, or I'm not going to say that. When I go to the store, when I go to the grocery store and I pick up a box of elbow noodles, right? I'm going to pick up the elbow noodles. Matter of fact, I'm going to pick the can that ain't got no dents in it. It looks fresh. It looks like new. It looks like it didn't get crushed up. The can ain't dented. The label, the glue is still connected all the way around, right? I'm not picking, unless it's the last one, the one where the can is dented. I'm desperate for the can. I'm not going to, I need, the last box of elbow noodles, and it's all banged up. The corners are pushed in, and because I'm desperate, I pull off those things. Like, why do y'all want somebody who's been used up, jaded by love, jaded by experiences, because they haven't had a relationship? Now, not to say that you shouldn't get to know them and figure out what it was and get to know their personality. And maybe they didn't find a match. Maybe they took themselves in their quest to find, I don't know. But I don't feel like it's a red flag, right? Now, me personally, before I met my husband, I didn't have any serious relationships. Did I date? Yes. Did I have somebody I was seeing for weeks, maybe a few months? Yes. Okay. But I never, me personally, and maybe because I'm a woman, are we biased to that? I never was in a whole bunch of long-term relationships. My first and my longest serious relationship is my husband, and he dated too. And I think we have a similar story. I didn't get no used up, beat up, traumatized. I've been cheated on. I'm a cheater. I had this, like, some of y'all worry me because y'all be in situations. Like, I be listening to other channels and, they got all these stories, and then there's nothing wrong with life experience. Don't get me wrong, right? I think it's robust. We can learn from each other, right? Just like me, I've never been in a whole bunch of serious relationships other than my marriage, and we've been together for over a decade, okay? Happily married. I'm a very, very happy wife with a wonderful, loving, thoughtful, kind husband, okay? And we ain't never been in no 3 and 4 and 5 6-year relationships. And when did y'all start dating? At 2? Okay, did you start dating at 2? I don't find it to be a red flag. You should get to know that person and figure out why, they have not. And based on the information and the data that you collect, seeing if they're a good person, if they're a good fit for you. Are they going to care for you, but they've never been in a I can go on a rant, but what are your thoughts on that? Put it below. Then we get to Dr. Sean, who's 48. Now we meeting Nikki, who's 46. Sean's a smart overachiever, and that is Pastor Cal's son. And I think that Paul Brunson and Dr. Sean are cousins. He does. I mean, Pastor Cal, this is Pastor Cal's son. I mean, I miss Pastor Cal, and then every episode we're going to be thinking about Pastor Cal. I miss Pastor Cal. He's still doing his thing. He got his Marriage Ain't for Punks. I did read some of that book when it first came out. He has some good words of wisdom. Pastor Cal, he is a real pastor that just happened to get on reality TV. And I like Pastor Cal. Love him. He's cool people, in my opinion. One of the things that stuck out to me on her side, she wants a high earner, which is rare. She wants a money man. That's what I wrote. That's because she wants somebody who makes, she's an HR leader. She wants somebody to make, I guess, between $250,000 to $300,000. That's okay, girl. I think that, I wrote this down. I'm just going to read straight from the notes. This is a shaky match. Egos of smart, because she's a smart girl. She's a beautiful girl. He's a smart guy, and he's not a bad looking guy. He's almost 50 years old. She's 46, and, Sometimes when you have two, she's a high achiever, whatever her salary is. He's a high achiever, whatever his salary is. Let me back up a little bit. Paul is asking, her, about the salary. She wants him to make at least 250, but he's like, listen, the average person makes 64,000, and she's like, I know what the stats is. To me, she's a little like, she's arrogant. She's very stuck on herself. Like, she's beautiful. She can be who she wants to be. She's probably a great person, but how is being portrayed? She's a little stuck on herself a little bit. We're gonna get to him, Dr. Sean, because I see some red flags. But, and she said 200,000. Okay. You have what you want, right? I am all about that. Have what you want. You don't want no brokey. I get that. Listen, I'm for that. No brokies. No, lazy bums. Do not be lazy. That is a turn off, right? But I'm also want to be realistic, right? Getting a man of that caliber is very hard because they're stuck on themselves. And then, when you have two people who are at the top of their game, somebody's got to be, it's always going to be a battle of egos, okay? And sometimes with high achievers and high earners, there has to be a concession somewhere. And I'm not saying this because, I've heard the thought process, you're a black woman, she can have what, it's not even about that, right? You have to give concessions somewhere. If their concession is, want to have money, well, he may not look good. Or he's unavailable. Or he may look good, but he makes a decent salary, right? I think that because there's all of these high marks, it has left you single. You've focused on your career. You've made the money. And it's all a trauma response because, she grew up, not so well off, and you don't want to go back to the place. And I get that. And I respect that. And I think it's great. But I think that when you're trying to get into relationships, something within you is fighting. And it keeps you unattractive. You are an attractive person, but there's something about it, and I don't know how to explain it, that you repel people. Your arrogance, your pride, your hoity-toity, like there's something about that personality type that which is being exhibited on the screen, keeps you single. Okay? Not too much on her. She's beautiful and she has the right to have what she wants. But if you're ordering it from Married at First Sight, you're not going to get it. And that's that on that. Have what you want, but this ain't the way to get it. And sometimes things happen when they least expect it. Now you've done your career checklist and now you're ready to get married and now life has passed you by. And I know there's a part fighting inside on that front, right? And so that pushes you towards a show like Married at First Sight, my opinion. Like I said, Sean is an overachiever as well. He is vice president of a college, VP administration, and that's good salary money. As I'm an educator in those types of spaces, and that's a good salary. He wants to be president of college. Now, when you president of the college, depending on where you at, you can make $500,000. There's some college presidents that make, I'm not gonna say. There are some college presidents that make at least, depending if you go to a good big school, you can make $1 million or more as a college president. But you are the VP. I mean, you're not the provost. That's lower than the provost. So I know the hierarchy of higher ed. I work in higher ed. Okay, there's that. So he makes good salary, vice president. Yeah. But I think he's a little awkward. He's a little weird, and they get married. They get to the altar. She don't like him. She like, where's my groom? She don't expect that guy because he's not tall. He's kind of corny. He's got a little high pitch to the voice, and she don't like him. She don't like him. And I thought she was kind of rude to him. But then when he said, he started saying his vows and he was a doctor, not saying an EDD. He didn't, PhD. He has an if he's in education, he has an EDD. Or he might have a PhD in education. You might, in educational spaces where he works, you have an EDD or PhD. But he said, I'm a doctor, but didn't qualify. He's not an MD, a ODD, or all of those other DDs that are doctor and body related. Okay. So then she like, oh, okay. She was sizing his wallet. But then he later reveals that he's not a medical doctor. He's a doctor, an education doctor. Okay. Dr. Sean is corny. Let's just get right to the things. Sean is corny. Dr. Sean is corny. She don't find him attractive at all. They get back to the room. He like, I usually sleep in shorts and no shirt. She's like, shirt please. She's like, I'm hot in here. It's 69, my favorite number. Ha ha ha. And then this cornball Dr. Sean down to, I'm skipping all around, down to the thing, talking with one of his friends or family members about, what the hotel room night or whatever. And he kind of says like, yo, sometimes I take the physical like way too fast. No, you don't. Like you creep with it. You want to do the physical way too fast and you try to make your move and you probably got rejected because old boy did say that he lost his card at 21 and then didn't have sex again until he was 29. He's corny. And I'm for saving yourself. I'm not for you slanging your peen around for, but he's corny. Like he gives me the sleeves. I've dated a guy like that. And once you open, like, you got to be sure because them dudes, once they get a little whiff or it's going to be a wrap. They crazy. They're emos and they probably real freaky nasty. And anyway, I'm saying too much. Anyway, she don't like him. She hopes to grow into some type of attraction. He's very corny. He's very beside himself. And I think they're not going to make it. And they are two peas of the same pod, but in a different way. But I respect her reserved nature and being honest with herself. But I don't know about Dr. Sean. He's a cornball. And, if she let him take an inch on her, he's going to want 1.5 miles. I feel like he gives me the vibe of this guy used to date an emo and then unstable. But she gonna give him a run for the money, and I'm waiting for it. So, last couple. Devin, 27, and he's paired up with Caitlin. I can't remember how old she is. I don't really have much to say about them. He's a rugby player. I don't know what she does. They're not really that interesting to me. I will say the dad wasn't feeling it. He was like, who are these people? He didn't feel that his daughter should be getting married at first sight and stuff like that. He was rude. He was standoffish. Maybe he shouldn't have came, or maybe he should have respected his daughter's decision and he didn't walk her down the aisle. She walked herself down the aisle or whatever. I don't know what the right move was to do, but I tell you what, after they get to the altar and they say, hi, I'm Caitlin, hey, I'm Devin, and they do all that stuff, he want to get up in like the objection section and say his feelings about he didn't like this, he wasn't gonna come and all of that. Like, sir, sit down. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's getting married on TV to a stranger. It's not time for you to do that. You should have had that. But it's good, should have had that conversation elsewhere, but it's TV, it's good drama, it's all of the things, right? And then he makes a speech again, one-on-one. He's like, I ain't like this and stuff like that to Devin after the wedding ceremony, but if she like it, I love it, but I don't like it. And then he does it again at the reception, at the speech, and that's all I got for them. Are they going to make it? They could. They like each other. Okay? I think I hit all the couples. It's 7 couples, and if I didn't, whatever. You know, I'm excited to see what it's going to bring. The parents of some of these couples, if they're meddling beyond, if we have scenes beyond this point, like, we don't know how the show is going to be structured now that it's fully Peacock. Last season, season 19, was still a Lifetime recorded show, but edited by Peacock, and now we're getting the full new format. So I don't know. I'm looking forward to the season. What are your thoughts on these folks? Like, what are your thoughts on the experts? What do you think about? The only ones that stand out to me is blonde guy, that's Adam and Marissa, Belle and Mecca, Sean and Nikki, and yeah, that's it. Like, these couples don't do it for me right now, but this is just the weddings, the getting to know you, getting to know all about you section. Getting to know you, getting to know all about you, trying to get that background information so that we can kind of talk about the things. So if you like my video, I'm going to try to do consistent, videos. But if you like this video, give it a like, give me a subscribe, encourage me to make more videos, because I do like watching TV. I do watch a lot of things. I watch a lot of, but to get the energy up to make a video and then have to edit it is the hard part. So my plan was to make this video 5 minutes, but I have some stuff to say and I'm long-winded. I'm a daughter of a preacher. Go figure. So hopefully by the time I edit this video, it'll be down to like important stuff and I'm not editing it too much. Watch the video. Let it play in the background. I got some stuff to say. And yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching my video. Make sure y'all comment, like, subscribe. Is not being in a relationship long-term ever for a partner important? Why and why not? Tell me. Because I ain't never been in a long-term relationship except my marriage. Tell me if I'm a red flag child. Tell me what y'all think about Dr. Sean. He a little creeper. He a little creeper. He a little nasty freak creeper that wants to be released. And Adam, he's a narcissist. Tell me what y'all think about this season so far. Let's just chit chat, cause my husband don't watch these shows. He think they corny, child. So y'all talk to me. Please talk to me about this show in the comments. And until I make the next set of videos, whenever that come out, and I gotta find some time in my schedule to make a video and edit it. Yo, come on. It's Peacock. We gonna be here and we gonna get out of here. All right. Adios, people. Bye.